fans, and welcome to another edition of the Eastland County Sports Show. We certainly appreciate you tuning in and checking out what's going on in this great county of ours. And boy, we got a lot of basketball going on, and we're about to really steam forward with spring sports. It's sort of almost feeling like spring out there right now. Sometimes it's 70 degrees, then it'll be 30 degrees. You know how Texas weather can be. But right now we're right in the middle of basketball. Baseball and softball are beginning to have their practices, and they will begin playing probably early mid-February. Of course, February is right around the corner. And so we've got lots of stuff going on, and we're going to try to bring it to you just as much as we can here on the Sports Show and on our sports page. All right? Make sure you pick up a copy of the Eastland County today and check out what's going on in the county and in the sports. Now, you're going to have to search a little bit for our new area, new location of the sports pages. The paper has been condensed a little bit. There are two sections now, and we are deep in section number 2. It's B9, B10, and B11. So get the paper, check out what's going on in Cisco and in Eastland, Rising Star, Ranger, Gorman. Then I want you to go to page B9, and there's our sports. Ranger and Gorman and Rising Star all on the front page there with our normal calendar, my article. I keep trying to convince Mr. O'Brien to to take off my picture. He won't do it. I don't know why he wants my mug in the paper, but anyway. Okay, you open up, and we got Cisco and Eastland on the halves like we have been for years. So make sure you check that out. You might have thought without a third section, the sports page might have left, but it's still there deep in section B. All right? Most of our high schools were involved in basketball this past Tuesday evening. The only school that was open, did not play, was Rising Star. The Wildcats and Lady Cats were off this past Tuesday. And then this Friday, they are going to be taking on Eula at Eula. So, Rising Star, no information for you today. We'll have some for you next week. Let's now start with Cisco. Cisco Lady Lobos had a heck of a game Tuesday evening. Let me tell you, they were hitting their shots, and they defeated the Lady Buckaroos from Breckenridge 69-46. Little shocker across District 7 3A. Breckenridge had earlier beat the Lady Lobos, and so this kind of is a little bit of a shocker across the district as the Lady Lobos come back and defeat the Lady Bucks. Kennedy Williams led the way with 14 points. Leanne Montel had 12 for the Lady Lobos. Way to go, Coach Kilpatrick and the Lady Lobos. That now puts them back in the running for the playoffs. This game was key for both the Lady Bucks and the Lady Lobos for that 4th playoff spot in District 7. Now, here's the scenario. The Lady Lobos have Toller and Millsap left. They defeated them in the first half of the district. They've got Peaster. Unfortunately, they lost to Peaster. If they could pull out an upset victory over Peaster, then that would put them right in the 4th position. And we've got one game left between the Lady Lobos and the Lady Mavs. If it all goes like the first half of the district, then we're going to have a tie between the Lady Bucks and the Lady Lobos for that 4th spot, possibly even a playoff game, a pre-playoff game to figure out who's going to win that 4th spot. All depends on how this last couple of weeks turns out for the Lady Lobos, but a big win for Cisco. The boys also won their matchup against the Bucks 64-45. They are in the driver's seat for the third spot in their District 7. They are now 4-2 in district play. Cooper Witt led with 15 points, and Jackson Hearn had 11 for the Lobos. All right, that's all for Cisco. Let's now move to Eastland. The Lady Mavs and Mavs took on Toller this past Tuesday evening. The Lady Mavs had no problem defeating the Lady Rattlers 48-30. Their district record moves to an impressive 7 wins and 2 losses. They have 3 games left. They are sitting real pretty for either the third or maybe even the second playoff position. Congratulations to Coach Blunt and the Lady Mavs. In fact, make sure you make sure you check out this week's paper. Coach Blunt won his 100th game last week. We mentioned that last week when the Lady Mavs upset Brock. I want you to check that out. We've got a picture and we've got a good story about that. The boys, on the other hand, they unfortunately fell. They were on the losing end to the Rattlers, 60-46. Parker Roberts led the way with 13 points, and Peyton Bird had 11 in the losing effort. Kind of a shocker there in Eastland. The Mavs are now 3-4, and they are battling for that 4th playoff spot. Cisco just a game or two ahead, or a game ahead, and then a game and a half, and then Eastland sitting in that 4th spot. So the Mavs are going to have to buck it up and win these last few games if they want to make the playoffs, which I'm sure Coach Marwitz will get those boys ready and have them in the playoffs in just a couple of weeks. All right, let's now move over to the east part of Eastland County to Ranger. The Ranger Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs have really struggled this year in basketball. It's just been a tough year over there in Ranger. And Tuesday night they took on Hamilton, and both the boys and girls took it on the chin versus Hamilton. The girls lost 62-40. That moves their district record, unfortunately, to no wins, 8 losses. Shelby Graham led the way for the Lady Bulldogs with 14 points. Then the Bulldogs, they lost to Hamilton 59-32, and unfortunately, they haven't won a district game yet either. They are 0-7. Mitch Needham led the way with 12 big points for the Bulldogs. All right, we're moving now from Ranger to Gorman, and the girls and boys took on Lipan this past Tuesday evening, and let me tell you, if you ever get a chance in the next few weeks to watch the Lipan boys play basketball, they are something to watch. Lipan #1 in the state. And unfortunately, the Gorman Panthers had to take on them again. This is the second time. And for the second straight time, it just hasn't been much of a game. Lipan's got it working on. I mean, they got boys dunking, and they got boys just flying all over the court. They are one good basketball team. Look for Lipan to be in Austin come basketball championship time. The boys lost to the Lipan Indians 99-45. They almost scored 100 points against the Panthers. They are that good, let me tell you. The Panthers moved to 4-3 on the year in district play. They are tied for 3rd. And in their district, 3 teams will go to the playoffs. Right now, Gorman tied with Huckabee for that 3rd spot. In fact, actually, they're just ahead of Huckabee because they have already defeated Huckabee once. And so if everything continues the way it has in the first part of district play, then Gorman should be sitting pretty good for that 3rd playoff position. The Lady Panthers lost to Lipan as well, 50-31. Well, let me back up for just a moment. Trent Padron led the way for the boys with 10 points. The girls lost 50-31 to Lipan. That moves their district record to 2 wins and 6 losses. The Lady Panthers are going to have to get it together in the second part of district play if they're going to want to make the playoffs. All right. Brianna Landa led the way for the Lady Panthers with 9 points. All right, so that takes care of our high schools. Again, I mentioned Rising Star off this past week. They'll get back to hoops action this Friday evening. And again, make sure you pick up a copy of the Eastland County Today. You're going to find out who's playing and where they're playing Friday evening right here on the Eastland County schedule. And then we've got Saturday's college basketball games. And then as you begin to notice, softball and baseball going to begin to make their way into the county schedule. Let me talk a little bit about our colleges before we sign off. The Ranger College men are now 3-1 in their Region 5 conference. All right, way to go, Ranger. You remember last year, Ranger went all the way to all the way almost to the NJCAA finals. They finished 4th in that tournament, and they're beginning this year's district schedule well, winning 3 games and only losing 1. They are in 2nd place. They defeated Temple this past Wednesday, 106 to 105. Boy, that must have been a heck of a game. All right, the Ranger College ladies are also doing fairly well. They are 2-2 in conference play. They are tied for 3rd with several other teams. This last Wednesday, they lost to Temple 73 to 47. All right, that's Ranger College. We have Cisco College. The Lady Wranglers are also deep into their conference schedule. They are also, as the Ranger College ladies, they are also 2-2. They're tied for 3rd with, as I said earlier, with a bunch of those junior college teams. This last Wednesday, they lost to McLennan 74 to 70. And if I remember correctly, these two teams will face off, yes, Wednesday, February the 1st in Ranger. Cisco and Ranger College facing off against one another in Ranger this Wednesday, February the 1st. So if you haven't got anything to do Wednesday night, go check out some good basketball there at the Ranger College Gymnasium. All right, well, that's about it for high school sports. Let me just throw one thing in here real quickly. Man, did you watch the Atlanta Falcons beat up the Green Bay Packers Sunday? That was impressive. And let me tell you, I know they're going to be taking on Tom Brady and the always tough New England Patriots, but I want to see the Falcons win their first Super Bowl. How about you? I know that if you're a Cowboy fan, you don't want to see the Patriots win because they've won too many Super Bowls already. So you're going to be rooting for the Falcons. I'm going to be rooting for the Falcons. And we're going to all root for the Falcons to win Super Bowl 51. All right? This weekend is the Pro Bowl. We're going to get to see lots of Cowboys show off their skills in the Pro Bowl. Hope you enjoy that as well. All right. Well, I think that's all that I have today. Okay, I can breathe now. Have a great week. Make some wonderful memories. God bless you.